All of the television programs and all the things we've done were all very important. But what with the urgency of the landing on the moon, everything was checked and checked and checked again, because if we'd messed up, I mean, there would have been a lot of people very, very disappointed. And when you look back now and realise there was 220 million people in Europe watching it. Goonhilly had done a lot of the broadcasts from America, showing the launches of various vehicles that went into space, from Mercury, Gemini, right up to the Apollo series. With the Apollo series, they showed all the launches because everybody was very interested.
Liftoff on Apollo 11.
When they launched on the Tuesday, away they went. And you think, well, this is going to happen now. And because we'd seen so many of the launches, we almost felt involved with the project. And when finally they got to the moon, they went into the lunar orbit and they broke free and went down. I mean, the atmosphere in the old operation control area was electric. It was electric. Nobody spoke. There was no need to speak, because if somebody had spoken, I think they would have broken the spell. Finally, when they opened the hatch and they came down, we were almost walking down there a step at the time with them, because we've been involved. We felt part of it. And when they finally took off and they joined with the command module, and literally it was all over. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. I can't really explain exactly what it was like. When I left in the morning, I walked out the door, and if someone had said to me, "You'll be back here in 50 years' time to talk about it," I wouldn't have believed it. It was two very important things that went on: the landing on the moon and Goonhilly handling the broadcast. My responsibility on the night of the broadcast, I was in charge of the television switching, patching from the communication equipment through the various feeds, and then the outlet which would go via the microwave link up to BBC for Europe or for the UK. Now, a lot of people thought that the pictures from the moon came directly to Goonhilly, but they didn't. They came eventually because of a satellite failure over the Atlantic Ocean. It came in by a very long route. It came from the moon to Australia, Australia to America, America across to Japan, and Japan to Goonhilly. When I came in the early 60s, there's only number one. Number two came they built it in the late 60s. It was just a modern version of number one. Number one, well, they call it Arthur now. It was built to a design which was typically British. It was built like a battleship. Area 1 weighs 1,100 tons. I mean, it is there forever. It had a character. And even though it was built like a battleship, it is the grand old lady of Goonhilly, and I just hope it'll always be here. Goonhilly was built on this site because it used to be a radar station during the war, but an important thing at the time, when the satellite systems started coming in, they wanted to be as far west as possible and as far south as possible. And the best site they found was on Goonhilly Downs. I came to Cornwall in the early 1960s to work at Goonhilly. When I got here, I looked around and thought, have I made the right choice? It was a bleak, dismal, windy place. I just didn't think that I'd made the right decision, but I'm afraid 60 odd years later, I did make the right decision. I'd been part of it, as far as concerned. I was there, I'd done it, and I think I achieved a great deal. And it's a legacy that will go on. My great-grandchildren say, hey, my granddad was involved with that. To me, that's a legacy. And it was a great part of my working life at Goonhilly.